In English, subjects and verbs in a sentence must always agree in number. A singular subject takes a singular verb. A plural subject takes a plural verb. Matching the subject and the verb is important because it prevents the reader from confusing which noun is the subject doing the action. Simple sentences contain a subject and predicate. The researcher conducted the study. In this example, it is clear to the reader that the subject of the sentence is researcher. The singular verb, conducted, agrees in number with the singular subject, researcher. However, this is not always obvious for more complex sentences. Take, for example, the following. Sample 1, in addition to samples 2 and 3, were found to be contaminated. Sample 1, in addition to samples 2 and 3, was found to be contaminated. Here, the subject is sample 1. But if the sentence used the plural verb were, the reader may assume that the subject is not only sample 1, but also samples 2 and 3. A sentence can also have multiple identified subjects use the same verb. When two or more subjects share the same verb, the subjects are joined with the conjunction and or. Subjects joined by the conjunction and are always used with a plural verb. In contrast, singular subjects joined by the conjunction either or are used with a singular verb. However, if the joined subjects are plural, a plural verb must be used. Occasionally, a compound subject may contain both singular and plural nouns. In this case, the verb should match the form of the noun closest to it. The singular verb need is used here because components is a plural noun. It may be difficult to identify the subject for sentences that have phrases or clauses that separate the subject from the verb. Which of the following two sentences do you think is correct? Many studies on this subject has neglected the effect of oxygen on the fabrication process. Many studies on this subject have neglected the effect of oxygen on the fabrication process. Which sentence is correct? The answer is B. This is because the subject of the sentence is studies, not subject. Using the correct verb form can help the reader better identify the subject of your sentence. Phrases such as along with, as well as, and addition to are not conjunctions, but they do act as connectors. As mentioned above, subjects joined with the conjunction and are always used with a plural verb. But exceptions apply to along with, as well as, and in addition to. These connector phrases differ from and in that they do not create a compound subject. Another common confusion is whether indefinite pronouns, such as anything, should be used with singular verbs or plural verbs. A few of the pronouns listed here may be treated as either singular or plural depending on the sentence. Most indefinite pronouns are treated as singular: every, another, each, and one, as well as all indefinite pronouns that end with thing, body, one, or where are used with singular verbs. On the other hand, both, few, many, and several are treated as plural. A few indefinite pronouns are treated as either singular or plural depending on the sentence. These are all, some, any, none, more, most, and either. See the following sentences using the indefinite pronoun some. In the first sentence, some refers to samples, which is plural and should be used with a plural verb. In the second sentence, some refers to the sample, which is singular and should be used with a singular verb. There are sentences for which the subject follows the verb rather than vice versa. This is true for sentences that begin with there or here, as well as sentences with an inverted sentence structure. Sometimes the subject of a sentence may be a number or quantity. This is particularly common in academic writing since numerical values are typically important to scientific research. The verb form that should be used with numerical subjects depends on what the number is referring to. 67% is referring to the samples, which is plural. Therefore, it should be used with the plural verb were. 80 centimeters, on the other hand, refers to electrical tape, which is singular and thus should be used with the singular verb was. The same applies to subjects that are proportions. Collective nouns are nouns that refer to a unified group of people, animals, or things. Collective nouns are typically treated as singular in US English, but as plural in UK English. Uncountable nouns are of abstract concept or general terms, and thus cannot be counted. Examples of uncountable nouns include research, information, progress, equipment, furniture, luggage, etc. Uncountable nouns always take singular verbs. The rule for acronyms and abbreviations is simple. Check what terms the abbreviation or acronym means. First, determine whether the full version is singular, plural, compound, or collective, and then apply the relevant rules accordingly. This new SSD is perfect for my PC. SSD stands for solid state drive, which is singular and should be used with a singular verb. BCS continue to experience the side effects of the treatments they were exposed to. BCS stands for breast cancer survivors, which is plural and should be used with a plural verb. To learn more about sentence structure, punctuation, and dozens of other language rules, visit wordvice.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more helpful videos on academic writing and editing.